Yeah. Okay, we might start. For those who haven't met me, I'm Dylan from BPro. I'm actually really excited for today's Zoom session. If you've been using us for a while, you know that we're terrible at product photography and terrible at videography. So I think we could probably be taking some notes throughout the presentation. You might know Natasha March. She's a practicing professional photographer, but she's also a video and TV ninja. I might let you introduce yourself, Natasha.
Oh, I didn't write something. I have to make this. Throw me on the spot. I've got everything else planned, but not my intro. Well, look, before launching my business, actually 10 years ago, I just realized a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, 10 years in photography. But before that, I was a video editor and producer in TV. I worked on news and current affairs and in New Zealand. And then when I moved to Australia, I started freelancing with all the different stations here and working on things like Totally Wild, Big Brother, and Don't Hold It Against Me, but A Current Affair. And yeah, through that, I developed a lot of skills and speed and making things interesting. The amount of Totally Wild scripts I'd get written by just very fresh out of school teenagers that are like writing words, and then the cues are make it look cool. So there was a lot of a lot of talent comes into taking some pictures of crocodiles and making them look scary and cool when they're actually just asleep. So yeah, that's kind of my background. I do love obviously creating images and videos. So yeah, I kind of like to blend them in my business. If anyone has ever checked out any of my pages, you'll see both on socials and on my website, there is a load of video from my corny ones that I do with my girls to, you know, the information ones that I do about my products and obviously welcome videos and all the rest of it. So yeah, do you want me to dive on in, Dylan? Do you want me just to jump in?
Yeah, I think let's kick straight on.
Get onto it because we've got a lot to fill in today. So we're actually going to create a product video today from start to finish. So we're going to, I've got a script pre-written that we're going to just kind of fill in a few blanks and record. And then I'm going to actually shoot the video today. And then we're going to load it straight into software and we're going to edit it today. So at the end of this hour, we will have a finished product. So I do need to kind of get on with it and not chat too much.
Natasha?
Yeah.
So just to jump in for 1 second, because it's a session with quite a few moving parts and Natasha will be moving away from the computer, if you've got any questions, put them in the chat and maybe like every 5-10 minutes we'll stop and we'll just quickly go over it and make sure that they're covered. Sorry.
Yeah, no, good point. I did forget to say that because, yeah, I will be talking and moving away because as we have over here is my set. So I've done a little stylized set over here. The product that we are going to be doing a product video of today is the new album stands from BPro. And so I've actually got that set up and styled with a bit of orange and green to go with the BPro color palette. You guys might freak out about this, but today I'm actually going to shoot it on my phone. So I was originally going to do the DSLR, but I figured for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to do it on this. You guys are all photographers. You know how to work a camera. It's not that hard to flip the switch from stills to from stills to video. But there are 3 things that you do need to just take into consideration when you do switch from still to a video. The first one is you want to keep it as steady as possible. Shaky video is one thing that you really can't fix in post. Today I've got a tripod here to start with that I'm going to put my camera into the tripod so I can get some still photos using both my hands in the shot. So tripod is a great option for a still. Otherwise I've got one here. This is a gimbal. I'm not going to use this today because my phone's very steady anyway. But yeah, this is a gimbal for a cell phone. This is the DJI Osmo, which is very handy if you are doing a fair bit with your phone. Oh, I can see Katrina's got one as well. But you can get gimbals for your DSLRs as well. Personally, I shoot on the R5, which has an inbuilt gimbal, which again, less machinery to handle. So a lot of cameras are starting to build that smooth video in and start to prioritize that into our DSLRs as well. Color is the next one that you do need to think about. I actually have gotten into a really bad habit as a photographer of just setting my white balance at like a flat Kelvin, and then I just always adjust it in RAW. So don't do that. In video, when you're working with your video files, it's like working on a JPEG. So you can only layer up filters above. So you're never going to be able to really tweak that too much. If you do find yourself in a real bind, black and white, just like with a JPEG, will get you out of it. But yeah, I do recommend to really try and get the color right on that white balance. And your ISO. So again, when we're raw processing our photos, we can use the de-noise to pull out most of that noise and grain. You don't have that when you're working with the video files quite so much. So to try and shoot as lower ISO as possible, but your shutter speed on video can go super slow because it won't show the slight movement like a still photo will. So that's probably, if you do need to get more light in, just go on a lower shutter speed, but to keep your ISO as low as possible. The next thing I'm going to do is jump in and share my screen. I've written a script. My script writing skills are interesting. Okay, so I've just got a short script here about the album stand. And what we're going to do is I'm going to actually record this again into my phone so that we've got that audio, not really simple, like keep it as simple as possible. So that audio file is going to be on my phone and we'll just separate it from the video file when we get to the edit. I do have a few holes in my script at the moment, Dylan, so I will need a bit of help to just fill in a few of these blanks that I didn't have. But yeah, so the script is going to be fairly as short as possible. But we've got turn your B Pro albums into a statement product by presenting them on our new wooden display stands. Made by hand in our Brisbane workshop from solid
Jarrah
wood. The album stand is a durable and elegant display option for any album. You can customize your stand with up to how many characters?
30 characters.
Up to 30 characters engraved onto the front for a personalized touch. With 2 size options and 3 height variables for the ultimate viewing angle and size to fit all our albums from what size to what size?
I think between the small album stand and the large album stand, 5.5 inch to 12.16.
12 by 16 inch, is that correct?
Yeah. This
product will showcase your albums with elegance and style. Okay, so now I'm going to record this. So my tips for recording a good voiceover is to exhale and smile. So I'm polishing the microphone like that's going to make a difference. So I used to polishing the lens to make sure that's clean. Okay, exhale. Turn your B Pro albums into a statement product by presenting them on our new wooden display stands. Made by hand in our Brisbane workshop from solid Jarrah wood, the album stand is a durable and elegant display option for any album. Customize your stand with up to 30 characters engraved on the front for a really personalized touch. With 2 size options and 3 height variables for the ultimate viewing angle and size to fit all of our B Pro albums from 5x5 to 12x16 size. This product will showcase your albums with elegance and style. Cool, so that's recorded. I have done that a few times in the past, so don't freak out if you do record it, especially if you're starting to record it and you're not sure how to pronounce it or how to put the emphasis, just record it again. So you could say like, made by hand in our Brisbane workshop from solid Jarrah wood. Made by hand in our Brisbane workshop from solid Jarrah wood. You can change your emphasis and then you can just look it back on when you're actually putting it into your project and you can find the one you like best. And again, if you watch it back and you don't like the way that you sound, just record it again and replace it. But yeah, don't be scared to just keep recording them until you find a few options. Now, I know ballpark in my head how many shots I'm going to need for this, but I'm going to hopefully overshoot it a little bit. this is the part where I need to step away from the camera. Sorry, I was planning to do it a bit closer to you guys, but the lighting and backgrounds and stuff are bad. So I've actually got my little stand, and the album stand is up on a set over here. So please bear with me. I'm going to try and do the shooting part as quickly as possible to get this for us. All right, so that we can get into editing as soon as possible. This will be a great time if there are any questions so far to pop them in. Oh, and I've got some tips on the script. Keep it as short as possible. Talk about the features and benefits. For example, the feature is that the album stand is engraved, but the benefit is that it makes it personalized. Make sure you get a shot of everything, so I mentally know I need to get a close-up of that engraving. And to stylize your shots. So I've got some B Pro colors over here, some orange and some green around the album. Personally, for my stuff, it's all in the grays and pinks. So stylize your shots and take your photos and videos of your products at the same time so that they all match and they're all cohesive the whole way through. All right, I'm going to shoot over there now.
Sorry, Natasha, are you able to get us closer so we can see you? We can see your screen mainly.
Yeah, I can't really, sorry. I'll send you a photo of what this looks like later.
Okay. All good.
Tash, if you stop screen sharing, we should be able to see you bigger.
Oh, that's a really good point. Thank you. There you go. Can you see me now? And if you change the view from like to speaker or what, yeah, then you'll be able to see much more. Apologies, my bum might be in this one. Oh no, I was recording all of that. So I'm going to start that again. So. That's there. So that's the two shots I wanted to get of it's just the hands flicking through. Now I'm going to take it off the tripod and just get that out of the way. And while it's open, one of the things that's nice about video is to work with the movement. So I'm just going to do some slow rocks. Just repeating that now, just with the front cover. So it's going to look weird because it says Olivia and Jack, but there's only Olivia. There's not Olivia. Okay, now I'm doing that close-up of the engraving. I'm going to do some close-ups of the wood. I'm going to put my camera in the back and get that little stand. Show the front, the back, the album on it. Might take the album off. So it's a lot of detailed shots. And then also you can play a little bit. So I'm going to start doing some kind of crazy stuff here. that album on as well. So, well, now I didn't turn my camera off through most of that. I just keep taking the same shot so it doesn't make as many clips for me to have to import, but it does make longer clips. So it just kind of depends. This is the other part of using your phone that sometimes can make it. Cool, I reckon that should be enough. So yeah, sometimes using your phone means that you can get in closer and do some kind of weirder stuff easier, as you'll see in just a minute. So next I need to, I just airdrop these to my computer. So I need that script. And I have 11. And now hopefully they will come in. So while they're coming in, I'll go and talk to you guys about the music because I've already gone and found my music, and I'll talk to you guys about the software that we're going to be editing on today as well. So the software I'm using is DaVinci Resolve. This is free software for Apple and for Windows. It is really powerful. I've used a lot of different softwares over the years. From Avid was my main thing. I also used, what's the other one, the Apple one? Final Cut, didn't like it as much. It's sort of, that's a bit like a Canon Nikon thing. Then I've also used a few other smaller ones, but this is actually, I really like this. Oh, iMovie, obviously we've all used the iMovie. Anyway, DaVinci Resolve is really powerful. I really like it, and it's the software that I use for everything now. I actually still use the free version, so everything that I do, you can do in the free version. If you just come to their website, which is Blackmagic Design, if you just search it, you can find it, and I can pop this into the chat, if I can find the chat. That's the website there for DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, come here, download your free software and you'll be in. And then I've also got some music that I've already pre-done, gone and chosen, because that can be quite time consuming as well. So the music, has that come in? No, it hasn't. Oh, don't be annoying. Select. Do 4 at a time. Cool. The music, this site here, bensound.com. These guys have got heaps of completely free music. You can just download it and go for it. You will probably, if you start playing around in here, you'll probably start to recognize a lot of it. Whenever I hear it, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit now, because I'm like, I've used it so much myself, and I just prefer fresher, more, you know, other stuff. So the site that I use is Soundstripe. Soundstripe is one that I got a good deal on when I signed up, and I've actually started coming to really enjoy it. If you do want to join Soundstripe, you can grab this code as well. Chat. This is the Soundstripe code. If you do want to go and get yourself some royalty-free music on a discount, I think you guys get $15 off, or you get 20%, so 15, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, there's a discount on that one if you like it. Otherwise, just stick with the free stuff while you're getting the vibe for it. Not all of these are free, most of these are free. Okay, so we've talked through DaVinci, and we've talked through our, cool, the first 4 came down. So first 4, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See if the next 7 get through in one go. It's the longer ones that struggle. So when you get DaVinci Resolve, this is what it looks like. Untitled project. I'm not going to download the update. And what I really like about it is it's a lot of drag and drop, and it's really intuitive. So you'll see as soon as these last files come in, should have done them in smaller chunks. Were there any questions at this point before I dive into the edit?
Yeah, I might, there are a couple of questions. I might throw them to you, Natasha. Somebody asked whether an iPhone's sufficient quality.
iPhone 13 Pro, I find is. I didn't used to like my 11. I never had the 12. So it depends on which one you've got. It depends on, yeah, you'll see how these files come up and how your files come up. And if you are happy with it, then go with it. Like people are always amazed at what I create on my iPhone. But as I was saying, if I was actually doing my real product videos, I would be probably doing them on my DSLR. But for the sake of today, keeping it simple, keeping it quick and easy, I've chosen to do today's on my phone. But it also has that advantage, as you'll see, of some of those cooler shots that are easier to do. So when I drag them in, DaVinci is automatically going to set the project frame rate, which I'm cool with. So I'm just going to hit change.
Jade also had a question about video slowing down websites.
So don't put it on your website, if that makes sense. Ha! You're like, what? Put it on YouTube and link it to your website. So instead of uploading those giant files to your website organically, put them onto YouTube or Vimeo and then link them into your website. So every video on my website is linked, not there individually. Does that answer the question?
Yep, I think so. I think that covered everything.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now that we're in here, they have automatically brought us into cut, which I don't like to work in. I prefer to work in edit because it's more like what I'm grown up with. I like to actually do a lot on the timeline. So this is my voiceover track here. I can tell it's my voiceover track because I can see my feet. What I'm going to do is just select the video and remove it. And then I'm just going to delete these parts. Now, B for blade key or will give you a slice, and you can see where there's these gaps in my voice, and that's all I want to do. So an A will bring us back to our arrow, and we can move that around. I wouldn't start the voice hard first because I want to have at least a beat before that voice comes in. This is where I might start to lose a few of you, but if you stick with it, we should hopefully, it should make sense the more that you
turn your B Pro albums.
So I don't need to listen to that because I remember I got that all the way through. Then I've taken a break here. Now I can see on this audio file that there's me taking a break and a big breath here. So I'm just going to pick this up and just drag it. And I'm actually going to leave that gap for, no, that gap's too big. I'm going to shorten it up. Up the top here on this ruler is telling us our duration so far. So that's 20, so that must be about 22. A 2-second gap is nice.
With elegance and style.
Oh, bring that to there. Oh, that's it. That's the whole thing. I stuffed one up, didn't I?
Customize your stand with up to 30 characters
I don't like the way I said that, but I'm going to stick with it.
engraved on the front for a really personalized touch.
And then that one just come to there. Okay, so now that's our base. The next thing we're going to do is looking at each time I say something, and this is where it can be handy to have your script. So turn your album into a statement by putting them onto our new stands. So it's probably where I want that first shot that I did. I'm just going to, for, again, simplicity's sake, I'm just going to switch those audio tracks and put my voiceover audio down onto audio 2 so that the audio that goes, even though I'm not using any of that, is going to stay with the video here. So to take the audio volume up or down on your files, you can just hover your mouse until you get that up-down arrow, You can just drag it and drag it whichever way you want. Drag it all the way down to mute, or you can hold down hold down Control to select it and delete it, whichever works.
Turn your
Okay, so this is where. So I've got, what I've done now is I've dragged my cursor up to the point that I want the shot to start. Now I'm going to go and grab that. See how the mouse changes its icon to that little draggy thing? And now I can drag it back. And now it's going to start with the album.
Turn your BPro albums into a statement.
Cool. And then that's going to be my next cut. But while I'm here, I know I did a few other things on this shot. So I'm just going to go find the other part of this shot that I want and just leave it on my timeline.
Workshop from solid jarrah wood. The album sound is a durable and elegant display option.
Oh, that's where I stuffed it. So now I'm ignoring that voiceover underneath. I'm just looking for the shot that I want.
Stand with up to 30 characters in great.
That's probably fine. Now I'm just going to leave that shot sitting there because it's another wide shot that I do plan to use. Now up here, that's just a little bit of movement. So I'm going to hit I to mark an in point here, O to mark an out point there. And if I want to take just the video, I can click on this video and bring down just the video. That's not going to go nice beside that one though. Double click it from here. We'll bring it into your preview monitor here. Oh, that's the part at the back. Cool. That's a perfect shot for when we're talking about the made with a hardwood. And then if I just bring that down, you can see it's going to be maybe too long. Let's see how that feels.
To a statement product by presenting them on our new wooden display stands. Made by hand in our Brisbane workshop from solid jarrah.
That's where we want it there. This is cool, but this is upside down. So I'll show you how we can fix that. That's my out. That's my in. Out. Move you guys out of the way. I'm getting a little bit tricky on this one. Sorry, I'm probably going a little bit too advanced on this one, but rotation. I just wanted to flip it 180. Now it's up the right way.
All of our BPro albums from 5x5.
So that
Nice to fit all of our.
Am I going too fast on this? Are you guys kind of keeping up?
A couple of people have mentioned the learning curve that would come with using the software. Like, do you have any quick tips on how to ease the transition to using something like this?
Yeah, so in terms of the super basics, I feel like I'm through the basics. Like, we've brought some stuff in, we're previewing it here, and we're putting it on our timeline here. This side over here is our viewing. So this is what you're seeing on the timeline. So if you think of it like a paper mache, I guess, these are all, or collage, these are all the bits that can go into the collage, and this is the product where it's sitting, and this is your visual timeline across the bottom. Obviously, the more that you do work with something, the more you do learn it. I obviously have used this. I've actually only been using the software maybe under a year, maybe just on a year. But I do find it really intuitive. It's more like iMovie than a lot of the other high-end softwares. With a lot of stuff, like if you hover, like if you don't know something, you can easily Google it. And if you hover on a lot of stuff, it's going to tell you what it does. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that will come with it. Don't expect when you do first start to put stuff together that you can put it together super quick like this. But just to give you an idea of how to put something together, like, you know, even if you just had 4 shots, a piece of audio under here, and then put your music under, that's going to be a great place to start. You know, it's, you know, you don't have to get tricky. I am, like I said, I am going a little bit higher end by putting that flip on that. And I am going to go a little bit higher end when I add the logo at the end. But for the most part, this is simple, sort of, well, I know it might not seem simple when you're looking at it for the first time, but I'm trying to keep it really like basic, just one line of video, one line of voiceover and some music underneath. If you wanted to simplify it even more, you could literally just stand there yourself and talk about it and just put some music underneath. But yeah, so let me, I'll just mindful of time.
Wooden display stands made by hand in our Brisbane work.
That one is slow. That's my timeline.
We're also going to send out this recording so you can rewatch it and sort of follow along.
Yeah.
Good. The album stand is a durable and elegant display option for any album. Customize your stand with up to 30.
Where was that close up? That was there. This one. Customize your stand. And then where did I do that drag across the front? Was it that one? Just a video layout would be easier.
Characters engraved on the front for a really personalized touch. With two size options and 3 height variations.
We want to show the height variations at the back. I keep forgetting just to grab the video only, because that wasn't something that was an option in the software that I learned on.
For the ultimate viewing angle and size to fit all of our B Pro albums.
This one I haven't used yet. I should have put the little 5x5, but it would have looked funny on that big one. Hey.
Front cover. From 5x5 to 12x16 size. This product.
So I just, again, you can just drag the corners, drag the edges of this to make it as short or as long as you want. And because it's really intuitive, you can pause your red, that red timeline cursor where you want to drag it out to, and it will snap to it. So you can get those kind of cut to the beats and that sort of thing going on with that.
Scene size. This product will showcase.
One.
Your albums with elegance and style.
I'll leave that as it is for now. So then the next thing I'm going to come in and bring in is, oh no, I made it easy to find before. Where was it? Free Pro content. So I've got a couple of, where are you guys there? So I've got a couple of music options and a B Pro logo here to put underneath it. As I said before, I find the music can be the hardest thing to look for. But yeah, so I went and sort of searched for a couple that I liked. That's going to be really loud. So I'm just going to bring them both down to about -20. When you're looking for music to go underneath your underneath anything that's got voiceovers in it, you want your music to be an acoustic so that you're not fighting with another voice that's singing lyrics. And yes. So that's the first piece of music, and then this was the second one. have a preference at this point?
Probably the first one. Actually, yeah, no, let's go with that one.
Yep, that's the first one. So yeah,
Yep.
so you are right both times. Now with the music, I'm just going to drag it straight down. And then I'm going to do something a little bit tricky, and I'm going to put a cut somewhere around here, and then I'm going to put a cut somewhere down here. I'm going to delete the middle of it, and then I'm going to drag my music back so that the song should finish at the same time. Oh my God. No, it says instrumental. It just must have some voice things in there. It's being a little bit jumpy on me. So if I zoom in, I get a bit more control. And I was also going to, this bit's a little bit trickier as well. You don't have to do this. Generators, solid color. Color is white for B Pro or gray?
Or which color is that?
Your background color.
Just use white. It's probably cleaner.
Cool. So that's now a solid color of white at the end, and we can drop your logo on here. And we're just going to zoom it back. And again, I'm just going to be a little bit tricky, but a little bit not, and just put a blur dissolve on it. So now, cool, that actually timed really well. The end of that shot did not. Oh, that music's really loud because I can't even hear my voice. So I'm just going to pull that down there.
This product will showcase your...
Okay, so now that I'm doing the audio mixing here, I'm looking over on this right-hand side at these audio panels. I want to make sure that obviously we listen to this, we can adjust the volume on our speakers or on our headphones. Editing with headphones when you're doing audio mixing is the best. But what you'd want to do is just check that when these are, that these little markers over here are hitting just peaking the reds, mostly in the yellows. If it's too much red, then you'll start to get distortion. If it's not there enough, people will feel like it's really quiet and they need to turn, like, you know how when you watch TV, sometimes the ads are really loud? It's because they do peak up a little louder and they peak more in the reds than in the yellows, whereas TV peaks where it should. So yes, you want to just adjust them that way so that...
Your albums without... Fit all of our B Pro albums from 5x5 to 12x16 size. This
might be still a little bit loud.
Product will showcase your albums with elegance and style.
Cool. I might put that blur dissolve there as well. No, not putting a blur dissolve. I'll just put a clean dissolve, cross dissolve onto there. This is our little zoom in, zoom out guy here. That's coming all the way down. Now, how do we hide audio edits is often a really big question. My favorite place to hide them is underneath another loud sound. But you also want your music to kind of match. This is usually the hardest part, but you can often disguise it on a project like this. And that looks like that needs to come up a little bit. So I'm now making sure that this side looks the same as that side.
Play option for any album. Customize your stand with up to 30 characters engraved on the front for a really...
I might try and bring that edit point back under that louder point.
Durable and elegant display option for any album. Customize your...
Didn't even hear that, so I'm going to say that worked well. Okay, so now I think we're done. Suddenly it's done. So when you first start editing, you probably you probably watch all of your edits back. You probably, you know, like when you first start shooting and you look at everything on the back of the camera before you move on to your next shot. But again, because I've done so much, I don't tend to watch it back until I think I'm done. So yeah, so here we go with how it looks. And this is now I'm going to look and make sure that the video content makes sense to what the audio is saying. I'm going to be looking for if I've got any jump cuts or any like end of shot, like jumped aways. You guys might see stuff here that you haven't seen yet because I just skimmed past it when I dropped it in. So yeah, we'll play this back for our first time. The whole thing is sitting at just under 40 seconds, which I think is perfect for a product video. You don't want them too long. You want it just to be long enough to keep people's interest and tell them what it is. So here we go.
Turn your BPro albums into a statement product by presenting them on our new wooden display stands. Made by hand in our Brisbane workshop from solid Jarrah wood, the album stand is a durable and elegant display option for any album. Customise your stand with up to 30 characters engraved on the front for a really personalised touch. With 2 size options and 3 height variables for the ultimate viewing angle and size to fit all of our BPro albums from 5x5 to 12x16 size, this product will showcase your albums with elegance and style.
Cool. I'm happy with that, actually. There was one at the front I was thinking of changing, but I think I use a shot later on, so I'll leave it for now. So the next thing I'm going to do, and again, this is once you start getting up to next level, but it's just because it is something that bugs me, is that I go and color grade it. And I do a really, really basic color grade in here because color grading is a whole other thing. It's a really specific job. But yeah, I just pull the saturation up. So you just can punch your saturation up. Color boost is like vibrance. And then you can get plugins to get like actions basically for video. But yeah, I just do that. And then what I do is copy. Oh, see, I told you I am new to this. Is it? No. Oh, I'm sure it's like copy and paste. Clip attributes? No. Oh no, where is it? I might have to go and Google this. So yeah, so all of them. No, color boost. No, oh no, where is it? It's like I say, it's as simple as that when I do it. All of them. Which was the one I did? Oh no, now I'm making myself look no good. Come back. Which one did I start on? Right. To that and bring them into here. Come on, Tash, you can do this. It's in here somewhere. It's just copy paste. I'm gonna go. Oh, where is it? I should have practiced this bit, shouldn't I? I mean, you can go along every single one and just boost it. So that's 60 and 12. I can't go clip color. No. Apply grade, change input. It was seriously, I thought it is something like that. Copy and paste. Those two. No, so even selecting them both doesn't adjust them both.
We can maybe
I'll have to look this up and see what I've done, but yeah, I'll put this one in there. But you've also got your temperature, so you can warm it up and cool it down in here if you have stuffed up your color balance, and you've got your tint, but that's about it. So you don't want to go, too crazy. But yeah, just for now, I'm just going to chuck these all at 70 and 12. 70, 12, just so you can see it. 12. And seriously, you'd think I'd know. I'd do this on every project. And 12. And you can see the ones that have got color grade around because they've got the little rainbow. Little rainbow around the screen. Overcooked it a bit on some of them. Okay, so we'll come back to here.
Turn your B-Pro albums into a statement product by presenting them on our new wooden display stands. Made by hand in our Brisbane workshop from solid Jarrah wood, the album stand is a durable and elegant display option for any album. Customise your stand with up to 30 characters engraved on the front for a really personalised touch. With 2 size options.
Yeah, it's overcooked. So now I'll just go and bring it back out. Oh, that's because saturation went up to there. Cool. So then to export from here, we go down to our little rocket, give it a name up here. What do you call it? Album and Sizzle. I just trust that, like the software, I just trust it. Just say render it as a video. It's going to put out as a QuickTime, H2.64. This is high res, so 1920 by 1080. That's in high definition. If you do want to make a standard definition, you can drop that down here to a 720. Always stick with PAL. NTSC is American. PAL is our friend here in the rest of the world. The rest of that, yeah, is all as it is. Add it to render queue. I stick everything on my desktop. Don't tell anyone. Hit render all. And that will be out in just a minute. So there we go. Finished with 5 minutes to spare.
That's awesome, Tash. A couple more questions just before we finish.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing. Is there anything else that I need to show here, or shall I stop sharing the screen?
No, I think that was awesome. Like, yeah, I think that's covered everything.
Cool. Yep.
So just to quickly run through the questions, if we use DSLR, does shutter speed affect the frame rate?
Yes. So shutter speed and frame rate is exactly the same thing. So your frame, no, it doesn't affect your frame rate. So, okay, so frame rate is how many frames per second, and in majority of it, so again, America's, they do everything weird, but mostly we use a 24 frames per second is the standard shooting rate that we have here. If you get something that's a super slow-mo camera, they can shoot something like, I don't know, 1,000 frames per second. That's when you get those really cool shots, like in the movies and stuff. But so your frame rate is how many frames per second. So it's sort of like shutter speed of how many times that's going to refresh per second. A high shutter speed will capture movement. So if your shutter speed is, I don't know, 1/25,000th of a second, you'll be able to capture raindrops like falling, like versus if you've got like a really slow shutter speed, you'll just have like the waterfall motion, similar to capturing movement in a still shot. Does that answer that question? Is that what you were asking?
I think so. There are a few questions around outsourcing the voiceover if you're not comfortable with the sound of your voice.
Sure.
Did you have any thoughts on that?
Why not? Go for it. I don't have anyone because I do it myself. But yeah, no, anything you don't want to do, anything you don't like to do, anything you're not comfortable with, just outsource it. You probably know someone already that's quite happy to do it. Because of my experience in TV, I'm used to it. Like I've been around people that do that kind of voice work all the time. So I just naturally hear it in my head. And I used to coach a lot of new reporters in, slow it down, smile, emphasize here, less of a smile, depending on, the emotion or the content that they were sort of reporting on. But what I think the best thing is have a go at it more. If it's for your own personal business, it's going to sound better coming from you because it will help you to connect with people, and like the more of you that you can get into your personal business, the better. Personally, that's what I think. But yeah, if you don't want to do it, if you really, really can't do it, if you've got a really big hang up about it, like there'll be someone that you probably know, or you can put it on Airtasker. There'll probably be someone that'll do that for you.
There was a question about where you might want to use 2 lines of video versus what you were showing, which was a single line.
Yeah, so why would you use 2 lines of audio?
Yep.
Okay.
No,
Actually,
video.
someone was asking about B-roll. Okay, I'll go back to sharing my screen and I'll show you what that is. So everything we've put in here is B-roll, basically. So if I was to do a video of me talking to camera and then overlay that, like if I had the video track for this, so yes, if I had still had used this video track here, like if it was an interview or if it's me talking to camera, and then I wanted to put the pictures of the album over top, that's the B-roll. So all this vision of the album with no audio, like no audio from these pictures is the B-roll. The rushes, the raw footage, there's a few different names for it. So that's what that stuff is. If you wanted to, like the reason that we have multiple layers of video is for this at the end here. For example, we can build up layers. If you're doing picture in picture, you will need a layer for every new, just like in Photoshop, a layer for every new clip. So here our base color is the solid. Then we've got the B Pro logo. And then if we wanted to add, oh, what am I in? I'm not even where I thought I was. If we wanted to add text, then we can drag up text. And now we've got 3 layers of video. If I wanted to then put in, I don't know, something else. So you can see how you can start to build your layers up. But yeah, so that's why there are multiple layers. Again, same for down here. If you were doing what we usually used to do, the layouts of our timelines for something like a news story, is that audio 1 is your voiceover and your interview. Audio 2 is the natural sound that goes with your B-roll. Then audio 3 and 4 would be your music tracks, because back then, 15 years ago, this had to be in 2 tracks to be stereo sound. These days, they've actually got stereo sound can come out of the one audio track in this software. Does that answer the question of why are there multiple tracks? Are there any supplementary follow-up questions?
I think so. While people think about that, just one final question. Would you recommend doing a shot list? Or do you think just take cool angles, cool shots, and then try and work it out once you edit?
Probably when you're first getting used to it, definitely. If you were to do, let me show you a storyboard. It's in RAD content. Is it going to come up? No, I will put some examples of storyboards in the, wherever you tell me to put them. There's 2 different ways you can do it. One is where you write it out like this, except stick it in a table, delete columns. Okay, and this side is your audio and this side is your video. So your audio says this. Your video is overlay wide shot album. And you can even draw this up if you want to. Then your next bit of video audio says that. And overlay close up wood grain. So you can do your planning this way, especially if you are starting like I think for me, because it's just second nature to mentally put this stuff together. But definitely this is what like Totally Wild scripts look like. Content on the, like voiceover on the left, vision on the right. And you can, add in as much or as little as you want on that.
Awesome.
Any more?
No, I think that covers all the questions. That was awesome, Natasha. Really, really appreciate it.
Cool.
Just a couple of very minor housekeeping things. We'd mentioned that we would be giving away a copy of Natasha's full video program. For those who don't know, she actually has is it 27 module?
can't remember. That's the one thing. Oh, that's one thing I didn't actually have up to tell you guys about, which was a bit weird. So getrad.com.au is the website for my video courses. The Get Rad video is usually $2.99, but in conjunction with this one, we're going to do it at $99 for the next 2 weeks. It is how many modules? I'd say it's 22 modules, but there's 38 steps. I don't know. But let me just drop that one in the chat as well. And won't do it just yet. Because yes, I meant to. That's one thing I forgot to do in all my prepping this morning was to go and make that at the $99 special for you guys. So if you check on that in about, 10 minutes time, I'll jump in and do that one for $10 now as well.
So while Natasha's been chatting, I used my very sophisticated random number generator. So whoever's number 27 on our chat list, which I'll check, will also give you access to the course as well. Let me just check who that is. Participants. Hopefully my counting's accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to count that twice because I have terrible attention to detail. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's got 2 different people each time. That's why. Everyone else is going up and counting along with you, Dylan, to make sure you don't say the wrong one.
I'm going to say Kelly Muntz. If it happens to be someone else, we'll give it to both. Congrats, Kelly.
Well done, Kelly.
One very other final bit of housekeeping. Next week's Zoom, if you're interested, we're meeting the team behind Imagine.ai. It's a artificial intelligence editing plugin module for Lightroom. I'm personally fascinated by that. They learn your editing style and then you can apply it to like a whole wedding's worth of galleries at once. So if you're curious, check out book.bpro.com.au. We've also got a whole heap of Zooms that we've put up around for visual artists. And although that's focused on art, there is one that I think for some photographers could really resonate. It's called Conquering the Imposter Syndrome, Valuing Yourself in Your Art. So also check that out at book.bpro.com.au. And we will send this out probably tonight once the videos finish rendering and are uploaded to YouTube. And I'll also include all the links that Natasha provided. And I think you mentioned you might pop some storyboard files in.
Yes. Yep.
I'm also going to put a thread up on the BPro group. If you've got any follow-up questions, or as Kelly Muntz suggested, if you'd like to upload your blooper reels from your own attempt at product videos, that would be awesome.
Bloopers are fantastic, by the way. Every time I do a product, or not maybe to not match my products, but anytime I do a video, I always follow it up with a blooper reel. You can either tack them on at the end, or you can do them as a whole second follow-up video. They're great. People love it. And yeah, I usually do it as a second one, unless there's only like 1 or 2 little ones. But yeah, bloopers are like gold. So even if you do feel silly, just add them in.
Perfect. And thanks again, Natasha. And thanks for everyone for connecting. We might see some of you next week.
Thanks so much.
Have a great afternoon.